big ways to make change. And please welcome me to help me welcome Shreyas Govardhan.
Hello, Toastmasters. Before I jump into what I want to say and throw in all the points, I want you to participate in something. I want each and every one of you to audit yourself. Observe how you're sitting. Observe your posture. If you lean back or kind of crunched in, or if you're occupying your space, and just audit yourself. You see where I'm going with this, right? One of the things I'm going to talk about is body language and non-verbal communication. Body language and non-verbal communication speaks a lot about a person individually, and it brings out a lot of expressions, or you can communicate a lot without speaking words. So a lot of people judge you, not intentionally or without intention, about how you say, how you say things, how you put your ideas across, and how you communicate with different people. And a lot of times, all these can predict a meaningful outcome in your life. It could be who would get promoted in the work environment, or who you would ask out on a date with. Or it could have an important impact. For example, the recent presidential debate, a lot of body language is used to reconfirm what the candidates speak. For example, someone who's making a point of let's bring the troops back home, let's do, we need healthcare, we need to do this, we need to do that. Notice how they're using the body to reconfirm what they're actually trying to convey to the audience, and this works. So the question arises, if people are judging, and if non-verbal communications has so much impact in the way we communicate with the world, how can we make use of this and put our best foot forward and get the best bargain in any deal we're making? I think there are many forms of conveying your feelings or asserting. There are many forms in which you can convey what you want to say without words. One of the things I'll be touching today is the power of the form of power and dominance. So how can you convey power and dominance without actually speaking the words? It's pretty simple. Let's look at the way power and dominance is communicated in the animal kingdom. For example, in a group of chicks, the alpha male always conveys power and dominance by making itself big and putting up an angry face and saying, "This is my herd, and this is my dominance." Even in the aquatic world, the pufferfish is a great example. It asserts its power over its predator or its surroundings by making itself big. Or snakes, for example, makes itself, like the king cobra, makes itself big and expresses its power and dominance in that neighborhood. So how do we humans do it? There's a lot of ways we communicate our power and dominance without actually saying the words. And the scientists call this high power poses. It could be something as simple as making a statement and putting your hand across and conveying your power and authority to the people around you. Or it could just be the way you're standing. You could just expand yourself, stand big, and make a statement. That says a lot about what statement you're making, instead of just making a statement by standing like this and conveying the same information. So all these things are called high power poses. That's what the scientists call them. Now, what do we do when we're kind of powerless, or feel crumbled, or we don't have much to say, but we're kind of shrinking inside? gaining attention from the people around you. And one of the high-power poses, I want a best example one of the best examples I want to convey about high-power poses is if you guys have watched the Summer Olympics, Usain Bolt, who I'm a really good fan of, is one of those persons who exhibits this wide range of high-power poses. He's not just a wonderful athlete, he's also he has this charisma to himself that makes him stand out of the crowd. And when he broke the world record and became the fastest man on the earth, most newspapers around the world posted a picture of him doing this as soon as he crossed the finish line. This is a very high-powered pose. It shows your hand in the shape of V, and your head's up, and that's a very powerful pose. And that pose is called the power of the power of pride. This is the power of pride. Same thing is true, and research have also shown that people who are blind all their lives, when they pass a physical challenge, they still do this. So it's not by imitation, or it's not by watching someone else do this, but it is what you truly feel. You just make yourself big and express yourself. Now, where can we use this high-power poses and expressions? One of the most practical examples, and I think most of us in this room have been through, is during an interview. If you can notice, the candidates before an interview section, they're sitting down in the chair and they're fiddling with their thumb, and they kind of shrink themselves, and they're playing with their cell phones, or they're just not very. They're kind of in the low power pose. And let's say they walk into the interview room and they kind of hide all this nervousness in a box and do well and talk, and let's say they actually got the job. What do you think they would do as soon as they walk out of the door? I would go, yes, as soon as the door shuts behind me. So that is a really high power pose. You expanded yourself. And now, think about this. If you had all this energy from going from this or this to this or this, imagine the transition of energy. Now, what if you walk into the room before the interview with all this energy and say, I got this job, and let's walk in. And studies have shown that if you walk in with this attitude, you will pretty much nail this interview and you will get the job. So here's a simple thing you can do the next time you're in this situation. Before you step into the interview room, just expand yourself. Do this. Expand yourself, broaden yourself, and I see Aaron's already doing it. Just expand yourself and feel big and feel confident. What it does is it increases your testosterone in your body, which is a main hormone for your power and dominance in a given scenario. And I hope everybody gets to use this. And if you are in this scenario, if you do implement this and if you get success out of this, please let me know, and that would be the best feedback ever.